If there was one thing I didn't see coming with the Infinix 030 5G, it would be the integration of ChatGPT to its voice assistant. Infinix did not even talk about this during their launch, and I found out from Mr. Host the Boss video, and that's actually wild, as it sort of gives a more intuitive voice assistant when compared to the likes of Google or Siri. But there's a catch. So the 030 is being promoted by Infinix as a vlogging phone, and if you saw my initial review in Venice where the device was launched, it pretty much lives up to that expectation for the most part, especially when you consider that this is a phone that costs less than $350. In Nigeria it is priced at around 315,000 naira, although we don't know if that price will remain the same as the dollar rate has actually gone up significantly since it was launched. The 030 has flagship build quality and screens premium thanks to that curved AMOLED display which has 144 Hz refresh rate, also protected by Corning Gorilla Glass 5, and it's a really slim phone, slimmer than my Galaxy S23 Ultra. I promised another review because my first was primarily focused on what its cameras can do. It's not really every day you see a mid-range smartphone with the ability to shoot 4K 60 frames per second videos from both selfie and rear cameras. And it did impress me. Now, I also mentioned in my first review that I would try to get my hands on the Rome green one, which I successfully did. And while I miss the uniformity with the color of the gold one, I love how the leather finish on this Rome green one feels on the hands. The camera bump has these screw-like things on each corner, and the bump itself has a matte finish. It is a nicely designed phone, and I have found myself carrying it around more than I thought I would, and without the case too, because you don't get a phone like this and spoil the feel with a case. Now, from launch day to now should be at least 3 weeks, so safe to say that's plenty time to observe how much of a worthy device this is. There are some choices Infinix made with the 030 that got me wondering for a bit, and I'm sure some of you might have questions about them, so let's get those out of the way. First is the absence of wireless charging, which we saw introduced with the Note 30 series. Kinda surprised it didn't come with this one. Pass-through charging feature also did not make it here. Another one is the fact that for a phone that shoots 4K 60 and is marketed as a vlogging device, we don't get expandable storage, and that can be a concern if you actually film a lot with your device. 256GB can get filled up pretty fast, especially when you are shooting 4K 60 FPS. I would have complained about the absence of a headphone jack, but there's barely any manufacturers adding one of those these days, especially at this price point and above. But a headphone jack would have made it easier to connect an external microphone while filming. Also, it would have been great if Infinix added a headphone jack adapter in the box, as that solves the problem, but you need to buy one. Now, that might be asking for too much because unlike most manufacturers, Infinix actually added all the essential accessories in the box, including a USB-C pair of earphones. Now, this is not me trying to nitpick, by the way, and make no mistake, I've loved using this phone and I think it's Infinix's best work yet. I'm just considering all the use cases for one that actually vlogs with their phone. Now, the 030 5G is a solid upgrade coming from the 0 Ultra from last year. It's slimmer, lighter, more refined design in my opinion, and better spec too. Now, in terms of performance for this price point, except you are talking about an older flagship, there are very few processors that can match the Dimensity 8020. There is just a slight question of why not the 8050 that was used on the Note 30 VIP or something higher, but the difference in performance is not very significant for actual average use cases in my opinion. But let's talk software and address the ChatGPT thing, if it's just a gimmick. First off, I have to commend Infinix on how clean the software is here. No ads so far. There are still bloatware apps though, but not as intrusive as long as you are not opening them. You can always uninstall or disable. Overall, it gives for a cleaner UI, with Phoenix browser and the other usual culprits not invading my space with pop-ups. At this point, it is not new that Infinix has managed to integrate Material You on here, and it's nice to see. We have XOS 13.1 on Android 13, and on this version of XOS, we see Pholax integrated with ChatGPT. Pholax is the name of Infinix voice assistant. Now, Infinix is definitely not getting left behind, as AI seems to be the new rave. By implication, we have a voice assistant that offers more than just programmed responses. You could even say smarter than most. Let's just see a quick comparison where I'll compare responses to the same questions between Pholax, Google Assistant, and Siri. Hi Pholax.
I am listening.
How can I make my phone faster?
To make your phone faster, you can try the following tips. 1. Clear app cache.
Hey Siri.
Mm-hmm.
How can I make my phone faster?
Sorry, I can't play things at that speed.
How can I make my phone faster?
Okay, I found this on the web for how can I make my phone faster. Check it out.
Hey Google. How can I make my phone faster?
Here is information from Cashify.
You can obviously see Folax gives more intelligent answers. However, there's a catch. The version of ChatGPT we have here is not the up-to-date one, so most of the data is based on from say 2 years ago. So if I ask you to tell me about the latest iPhone, for example, it will tell me the iPhone 13 because its data is not updated past 2021, I think. No access to real-time information. So that's the catch. But that doesn't take away the fact that it is quite intelligent and might prove a more helpful assistant. Like I could tell it to write me a job application and it will. Plus, if you actually think about it, even the current ChatGPT app also has this limitation. And if you want access to the latest version, it's not free. That's GPT-4, I believe. It's nice to see what Infinix has done in this regard, and I'm curious why they didn't talk much about it. Well, there are rumors Samsung is also going the AI route with their next flagship release. So I'm guessing we'll see more of that. The 035G might be targeted at vloggers, but it packs specs you could say if you take away its camera capabilities, you still have a very capable phone. The presence of a 144Hz display, one you mostly only see on gaming specific devices, is something I actually did not expect, and I'll have to say while the jump from 120 to 144Hz might not be as noticeable as say from 60 or 90 to 120, this is a smooth phone. The Dimensity 8020 is one that is capable of providing you with up to par gaming or even better than most new devices you find at this price point. It is equipped with cooling system Infinix calls vacuum chamber liquid cooling to help with heating. Now so far I've had no issues with heat. I mentioned this in my initial review. Even while filming for some time at 4K 60fps, at no point did I feel the device was too hot, nor did it trigger a temperature warning, as it is common with some devices, especially at this price point. It plays PUBG at HDR graphics and ultra frame rate. Call of Duty Mobile also goes as high as very high graphics settings and max frame rate. That's pretty solid gaming performance if you ask me. I found the stereo speaker setup here to be very good. You get that reverb feel on the back when using the speakers, even with this leather version. You love it when playing shooter games if you're not using headphones. I feel like I've covered enough about these cameras in my first review, but I still took a few photos and videos for those that will bring up the abroad weather argument. I still find it a solid phone camera wise, and my earlier impressions about its cameras have not changed. It still needs better AIS on the selfie camera though, as while I appreciate being able to shoot at 4K 60fps, it really could use some stability. The battery life on the 035G has been solid and meets expectations of a 5000 mAh battery. Infinix gives us a 68-watt charging brick in the box, and that charges this phone full from 0 to 100 in less than an hour, actually between 45 to 50 minutes. The 035G is a solid one from Infinix. I love what they've done so far with the software, but they still need to commit to software upgrades. The cameras are impressive but still need some fine-tuning, which I believe a few software updates will solve. Mine is a review unit and I'm not on the latest software patch. I think that's pretty much all I can complain about the Infinix 035G. It's one I'm definitely holding on to. If you want to know more about its cameras or see more samples, check out my initial video here or check here for the Note 30 VIP. Peace.